Hey everybody, this is Kat and Adam with rainbowwarrior.me. It's been a while. We have been so busy with life and we finally are back on track with our podcasts. We have a few announcements. We just created and are in the process of creating the Awakened Ones Forum. It's a place where conscious, awakened people can find one another. It's also about connecting socially on a real level beyond Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. You just never know when these platforms might kick you off or, I don't know, just disappear. A lot of censorship has been happening lately with the truth. So people are finding and scrambling ways to connect with one another. Because, in this day and age, we don't have each other's cell phone number anymore, at least not with, people beyond our scope of influence in our immediate communities. But so we're creating this as a safe place where you're not afraid to be kicked off. You can speak your truth and you can connect with others. And the other announcement is that we have our website up and running. Like I said earlier, it's rainbowwarrior.me. And we just have a lot of developments. And what we're doing in this show today is we're doing October and November's forecast. I know October is kind of ending, but we do have some information for October as well as November. We have actually a lot of information. So hope you have lots of time on your hand right now because, we're just going to dive right into it. This is about October now. We break things down between QEC predictions, Astrology Reports, Tarot Oracle, and some other insights. So we're going to get started with October's QEC prediction. And if you don't know what QEC is, it's quantum energetic connections. Basically, we go into a state of hypnosis type of a trance, I guess you could say, where we psychically connect to the Akashic Records and we see the timeline that's occurring. And we've done predictions, I think up to like 2022, right? Something like that, maybe even beyond. But we actually have to dig through all of our notes and old recordings because we have so much information. Basically, we're just going to go into it right now. For October, do you want to say anything, Adam, before we start? No. Okay.
Not yet.
He's a little quiet right now. Okay, so let's get started. So QEC, we saw the potential. Now everything's a potential. Nothing's set in stone. We read timelines and potential timelines. So we saw the timeline of potential more riots during the time of especially Halloween in New York, LA, and maybe some other cities. I just learned yesterday that there was some rioting going on in Philadelphia, which was crazy. Paris, people are maybe going to go rogue. I saw some spooky costumes, dark energies, fire bins, some people conjuring up dark entities, maybe due to like meth use, possession, people tired of being controlled, rebellion, people maybe opening up portals for demons, satanic stuff. Trump feels fine out of the hospital. And this is stuff that we saw before he actually got out of the hospital, but this is like kind of an old information, but just going along with this, Trump felt fine coming out of the hospital. He's trying to restore hope and faith. He's surrounded by good people. France possibly having flooding issues. All right, so October for Adam's report. He did a wonderful full moon in Pisces report, and he'll go ahead and talk about that. Even though it happened in the past, we can kind of see how it affected people.
Even though it happened in the past, it actually does affect you for at least 6 months. So
okay,
it still is currently going on.
Yeah.
Right. So October 1st, 2020, there was a harvest moon, and it was in Pisces. So, contrary to what those 12 signers out there are thinking, the full moon was actually in Pisces, not Aries. Right? And where it's placed, it has to deal with self-sacrifice and inner growth. And the moon was also conjunct Chiron. Chiron's known as the wounded healer, and the moon was also opposition to the sun, and Pluto also went direct. So on an individual level, because it's currently happening, you might be sensitive right now because the moon is in Pisces. It's a full moon. You're soaking up the thoughts and emotions of others. You might have psychic tendencies and becoming more intuitive. Don't second guess yourself. You will start to question what needs to be looked at in your life, and that will provide deep healing for you. The bigger picture, people are feeling restless. They're paying attention to details and questioning everything. People will be getting messages from their guides, and they may be becoming more self-aware and self-reliant. They might be learning more about what matters most in their life. Also, these old wounds are resurfacing on a worldwide scale. You see it all around. Like she was mentioning earlier about the riots and protests and everything on a worldwide scale. Also, the earth is going through a major transformation. There's fires, earthquakes, hurricanes, oh my. Some advice for everyone: transform your unbalanced life into a more perfect balance. See, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to balance the masculine and feminine that resides within each and every one of us. Also, learn to let go of the past and do research and find out for yourself what's really going on. Mercury retrograde will be in Libra beginning October 13th, and it will actually retrograde into Virgo. And then November 3rd, you're going to get to hear more of this later. But November 3rd, it will go direct again, and it will be in Virgo. We'll be talking about that, of course, when we get to November. It'll be about making your contribution to the world. Of course, we're just doing a little bit of a review of what happened this month and what's continuing to happen. Now, tarot and oracle reading by Kat, and this she had back in October 6th.
Right. So back in October 6th, I did a full spread reading specifically around America and Donald Trump. So what I saw was that Donald Trump just came out of the hospital. He's gaining some knowledge. He's using his third eye and spiritual knowledge. He's gaining information, and he's like gaining more in his third eye chakra. Something positive is happening regarding the United States. We're facing a new emotional and spiritual experience, and perhaps the world. There are new energies coming through to help us. Major transition timeline point. Trump's thoughts and feelings. He is anxious to move forward. He has a youthful energy. He feels emotionally rested and excited. And this is like, I think, right before he came out of the hospital, this reading. He's trying to make sure he doesn't overwhelm himself and with working too hard this time. He works extremely hard for our country. Solitude, spending time alone is what he was experiencing. As a collective, some people are feeling futility and others are feeling a new emotional experience. Some other people are feeling more connected to the universe, awakening to their true selves and higher self. They are looking past the matrix of existence. In the past, as a collective, people have focused more on the physical side of things, physical reality, their personal will and personal egos. But this is shifting into the future by people feeling more connected to the universe, more their spirituality, and as a result, they're going to feel more passion ignited as a whole. Now, just know that when I speak in generalities. I don't think that everyone is going to experience the same thing, but this is I'm reading the collective. When Trump wins, people will feel a sense of relief because we do see him winning for sure, and more things around justice happening. A positive timeline opens up where people are awakening and will continue to. People in soul groups or ones that are already awakened may feel the need to leave this matrix because they feel their moments in the timeline as a whole collective, but I mixed two sentences up, because they feel their work is done. So like, in other words, some people are feeling like, okay, my work is done here, I'm moving on, which is not a bad thing. There's a shift happening when where we had a lot of tragic moments in the timeline as a whole collective, but we are overcoming it. This is like past life type stuff. A lot of good people on the planet helping to shift the timeline to a better one, even though it may not seem like it right now. We're kind of in the midst of the chaos right now because there's a battle going on. I believe we're going to get beyond it. There is also a lot of help. People need to heal their strength and their weaknesses. So by turning your weakness into a strength, in other words, humanity as a whole needs to heal their heart chakras from all the traumas on the planet and more. The outcome looks good as a whole. People are going to ascend and move into a higher frequency for the most part. This is a positive timeline. Knowledge, simplicity, valuing the animal kingdom, valuing the elements, stepping into their magical selves, and sovereignty. So that was the October report. Now we're going to move into the November report, starting with the QEC predictions.
I just want to say one thing real quick before we move into the November report.
Yeah.
It's like there might be a massive amount of people leaving this earth, but it's a good thing because that's what they chose to do. They have certain positions, just like any other play that you're in, right? If you've ever been in a play, exit stage right. If it's their time to go, it's their time to go. We shouldn't be sad about it. We should be happy because that's what they came here to do.
Yeah, and that brings up for me, like, you know, the COVID deaths that are happening. I mean, we can get into it more later on, the information that I received actually really early this morning at like 4 a.m. But, you know, COVID-19 is not something to fear. Just know that. It's not something to fear. It's like the flu in a weird way. But if you have a strong immune system, you should overcome it. If you're not going to overcome COVID, that is your exit stage right experience. That is your time to go. Some people choose cancer. Some people choose a car accident. Some people choose weird ways. So we have to look at the big picture of what's really happening. Okay, so the
and not let fear take over, because fear is actually the thing that kills you. It's not a virus, it's not a bacteria, it's not a fungus, it's just fear. And when you have a fear of what you're going to contract something, you're more than likely going to contract it, because fear is a strong energy just like love.
And just so you know that, and I don't want to dwell too much on COVID, but COVID is a virus and viruses need a host. So actually COVID doesn't want to kill you. It actually needs you to live. It's what happens after COVID that kills people. But, you know, we have to look at the big picture and the divine plan. All right, so we're going to move on to the QEC predictions. What I saw was possibly around the 11th of November, there may be some kind of earthquake around Mexico or France. I saw a building collapsing, possibly people dying, fire engines, ambulances, like 9/11. Was it a false flag attack? We don't know. 11/11, gun control related. The dark trying to act out because he won. Some people are in a state of shock. Wise to avoid cities at this time. Possible revolt, riots, Trump becomes president again. So 11/11, November 11th, right? You want to stay home. You don't want to be in a city. You want to just hold the fort and hunker down, especially. On TV, he accepts a second term by a landslide. He won. Trump looking at some papers on his desk, thinking about something important. He has to consider a lot of things. 70% of the population actually like him. He is trying to save this country and is doing his best. After Trump wins presidency, people will be shocked about child rapists, politicians, etc. He will expose them. He wants to do this because he wants to show everyone that you should never judge a book by its cover. Look beyond the political demeanor and the words, the fancy words, what have you. Like, we have to look beyond the facade. They don't seem innocent. In other words, like these people who are being exposed, they may seem innocent, but he's showing everyone that they're not. And he knows this because he actually grew up with these types of people. So he has an eye for this. He's teaching about discernment and curiosity. Trump is a time traveler. He's also a magi / druid. He has a connection to that. A higher being exists in him. Potential Isis-Osiris connection. Uncle John. His uncle actually was friends with Tesla, the real Tesla, Nikola Tesla. Everything going through the system has to wait to be reelected. Ghislaine Maxwell, she may be at Guantanamo. And I think this is what you saw, right?
Yes.
Which is a safe zone.
Because it's a maximum security area, so she can't get hurt.
She's spilling the beans. She wants a second chance at life and will receive it if she exposes them. She has not reunited with Jeffrey Epstein. He's dead, actually. They murdered him. He was hired... Prince Andrew hired someone to kill him. That's what Adam saw, I think. The FBI somehow involved with Interpol connection. Prince Andrew hiding in Scotland or Ireland. And no, they won't find him. And Adam got Hills of Moher, or Moher, which is someplace underground with wife and kids. Queen of England, she's in one of her houses, maybe around Puerto Rico, St. Charles Island house, with her husband hiding from the new king, maybe called John. We don't know. Because of treason, child sacrifices, she's in hiding. He is coming from this new king is coming from a family line and will be king in the next year, 2021. March on TV. So March of 2021, look out. We might be seeing the new king of England. There will be, as a timeline, we saw, or Adam saw, a crowning ceremony. Elizabeth already lost her place as queen and has not worn the crown since being dethroned. Prince Harry hiding from the rest of the family. He's not a real prince. Neutral. Meghan entitlement issues. Grew up in front of the camera. Mediocre celebrity. She made a deal with the devil when she married Harry. She wanted fame and fortune. All right, so we're going to move into the astrology of November. Let's get started. It's a huge piece right here.
Well, not yet for November, because we still have
October.
Halloween. Coming. But literally, it's like just a day right before November, so it's whatever you want it to be. October 31st, 2020. Happy Halloween, everybody. The veil between this world and others is the thinnest during this time. They call it in Wicca or pagan rites, they call it Samhain, and it's the thinnest during that time. You can talk to your ancestors. Even I think in Mexico, Latin countries, they talk about the Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos, where you can communicate with your ancestors. You go and you give flowers to them at the funerals. I mean, not funerals, but the grave sites and stuff like that. You actually can communicate with your ancestors because they know the veil is the thinnest during this time. Now's the time to communicate with your ancestors, guides, and guardians. Don't be afraid to take a leap into the void that goes beyond space and time. That's right. If you realize that you're actually in the fourth dimension, it goes beyond space and time, and it's actually a canopy to the other dimensions. The astrological event, full moon. It's a blue moon because once in a blue moon, it happens very rarely that there will be 2 full moons in 1 month. Obviously, October. It'll be in the 12th house. And the full moon will actually be in Aries. It's a fire sign. And where it is again, once self-sacrifice, inner growth, just like that other full moon, right? Also, the sun is going to turn into Libra because it makes its transition from Virgo to Libra. Also, and that will be in the 6th house, where its place deals with a health and healing. Also, the moon, because it will be in Aries, emotions and actions that are energetic, right? And the sun will be in opposition to Uranus and may cause abrupt changes in our behavior. On a personal note, the sun in Libra, because of that, you might be focusing on balancing out your health and living a more healthy lifestyle. And because the sun is in opposition to Uranus, you may be feeling like your mind is changing and your behavior is changing along with it. And this is like, it's like, what the heck is happening? You might act out impulsively as well. You might be feeling a bit nervous and high-strung in situations. And because the moon is going to be in Aries, you might be quick to anger during this time, and don't get overheated. Remember that. Don't get overheated. A large-scale event. People may begin caring for others and not backbiting anymore. There might be a major hurricane coming to the Gulf Coast between now and 2 weeks from now. And if you're really paying attention, you'll see that there are hurricanes starting to hit the Gulf Coast, like Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, and that area. Let's see. People are acting out impulsively towards the restrictions they feel. No one wants to feel restricted. Usually when someone does feel restricted, it's like they just want to break out of those chains, or they want to break out of those ropes that are binding them, right? Also, for the individuals out there that are between the ages of 29 and a half and 32, you may be feeling like education is very important to you now, and so is travel, because Saturn is your Saturn return, and it's in Sagittarius. It is good to...
I have no idea what
it is good for you to journey in your life and find meaning in it. Like I said before, Saturn is teaching you how to find your truth and philosophy in your life during these years of your life. People are also finding ways to balance out their lives and their homes and bodies. Advice: master your vitality and your hidden talents will come forth. And be a pioneer of change and take a stand for what you believe in. That's right, everybody. Be a pioneer of change and take a stand for what you believe in.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Sorry, guys, that was a stupid speaker we had in the background.
It is important to seek the balance in your life. And don't get too extreme on one thing and neglect the other, right? You got to find that balancing out your priorities. Be safe, meditate, and find peace within yourselves. Learn to do things with a balanced heart and mind. Once again, that was for Halloween. Now we're moving on to Astrology Report for November 3rd, which happens to also be the day of the election.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break really quick, and we will get back to you guys in 1 second, actually.
Yes, and then we'll tell you all about November 3rd.
All right, guys, we're back for part 2.
Alrighty. So here we go. November 3rd. Coming real soon. Also the day of the election, right? Mercury goes direct. And it will be in Virgo. And where it'll be is... Let's see here. Sports and amusement, right? That'll be in the 5th house. And according to the astro calendar and the celestial events, Mercury in Virgo equals analytical mind with great reasoning ability. So it's not too bad, right? When Mercury goes direct, there you get your analytical mind and reasoning ability. On a personal analysis, you might be feeling like a cloud has been lifted from your mind. Isn't that a treat? You may also feel like the world is beginning to make sense once more. You might be working on yourself and seeing what needs to be done now that your mind is clear again. A larger scale, earthquakes will continue to rock the Pacific Ocean and surrounding areas. People will start to work on aligning their hearts in minds and analyzing the many situations going on in their lives, right? Because Mercury in Virgo. The people will rejoice in outcome of the election and know that liberation is upon them. They will also know that darkness has no power over the light. Darkness is simply the absence of truth and knowing. And also the Schumann resonance will spike to an unprecedented level, as if a jolt of high energy came in to stay. Advice: work on transforming separation to unity consciousness. That's right, everybody out there. You have the opportunity to think in unity consciousness and no more separation. Remember that we are all connected and that separation is just an illusion. For November 15th, we will have a new moon. It'll be in Libra and it will be in the 4th house. And because of that, it'll be dealing with the home and family. Also, the sun will be conjunct the moon, which means the tendency to enforce ideas with your willpower, right?
And Libra is an air sign, right?
Yes, Libra is an air sign.
A lot of communication.
Yes, lots of that. On personal note, you might be feeling like there is a deep need to find balance in your masculine and feminine energies within you, because Libra is all about balance, right? You might also be feeling like it's time to rest a while. You might also be feeling like spending time with friends and family at home. On a large scale note here, people all over are tired of being tossed around to and fro and just want to stay home. Everybody wants to be a homebody during this time. People might be feeling like being creative during this time. They might also be drawing up contracts and negotiating peace and such. Advice: sacrifice brings about hidden talents, right? Even the smallest little sacrifices you can possibly imagine. You'll find those hidden talents within those sacrifices. Don't become too obsessed with being right. Agree to disagree if that's what needs to happen, right? And the sun will be moving into Scorpio November 23rd all the way to December 17th. No, that is not right. December to November 30th, sorry. The sun will be going into Scorpio from November 23rd to November 30th. Yes. It'll be in the 6th house. And Scorpio is element water. And it's going to be health and healing. On a personal note, you might be feeling like it's time to rest and regenerate. You might also be feeling like there's a transformation happening within you. And don't let people's words get the best of you during this time. Large scale event. There's a massive transformation happening. People might be wearing their hearts on their sleeves and they might be feeling a bit cocooned in their endeavors. Don't let your emotions be an obstacle to networking. Take time out for yourselves. Meditate on what it is that is making you feel the way you feel. Mm-hmm. Yes. November 30th. It's a big time.
Stop you for a minute? There is a hell of a lot of things going on in November.
Yes.
It's crazy.
November 30th is also a really interesting time because, one, there's the full moon. It'll be in Taurus. It'll be in the 12th house.
Yeah.
It'll be about completion. Taurus is an earth sign. But not only that, it's also a pre-numbral lunar eclipse. And sources say that when you do see an eclipse, whoever's able to see an eclipse, more than likely things will be happening in that area. And this eclipse will be seen from North America, the Pacific Ocean, and northeastern Asia, including Japan. So, on a personal note, you might be feeling like it's time to appreciate the things in your life more fully. You might feel like you can finally rest from the long journey you've been on. You might also feel like slowing down and enjoying the beauty and the art, the world you find yourself in. Be willing to change and don't be too stubborn. Mm-hmm. Large-scale event. Be prepared for big earthquakes around the Pacific Ocean from the time of the lunar eclipse until 6 months from that time. There will be a lot of rumbling and shaking, and seek to get away from the coast of the Pacific Ocean. Also, people will be feeling a bit at ease in their lives. Regardless of all the things shaking on the earth, people will be feeling more at ease. Advice: hidden talents will appear as you learn to have fun in your career. And then on another note, don't get too comfortable, especially if you have to move in a minute's notice. That's especially for those people over there on the coast, right? Even those islands in the Pacific Ocean. Also, November 30th to December 17th, this is the sign not many people know about. The sun will transition to Ophiuchus. It'll be in the 4th house. Ophiuchus is basically an element of ether, which is composed of the water, the earth, the fire, and the air, right? That's what ether is, all of them. Ether would be like the 5th element, so to speak. It deals with genetic roots, so just remember that. On a personal level, you might receive insight in your life during this time. Like I said, November 30th to December 17th. You might receive insight in your life during this time. You might also be visited by your ancestors during this time. You might be feeling like there is more to life than meets the eye. You might reflect on your life and the meaning of it. A large-scale event, people will continue to wake up and question their reality. They will also find ways to create a better reality for themselves and others. There will be floods in unknown parts of the world, and there will be earthquakes near Japan and in the southeast corner of the world. People will find ancient knowledge that has been hidden for a long, long time. Sacrifice your selfish desires, and your wounds will begin to heal. Once again, sacrifice your selfish desires, and those wounds that have been longing to heal will begin to heal. Also, esoteric wisdom will come to you if that is what you are seeking. Meditate and ask your guides for some ancient knowledge. And that basically is just a recap of, once again, October and November. And you can always turn back and listen to this as much as you need to. With that in mind, I give you back to Kat.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was amazing. That's a lot of insight right there. Astrology really has a definite place in this matrix, let's just call it. It's not the end all be all. It's not everything, but it definitely brings us to understand the different elements that we're here to learn as humanity evolves and progresses.
For me, when I think of astrology, I just look at the sun and I look at the moon and the effect it has on us. Because if you're out in the sun for too long, you're going to get burnt. And the moon, it messes with the tides in the ocean. So the moon affects water. Water represents emotions. So usually they call them lunatics, right? Luna, the Latin for moon.
Right.
So these people come out during these full moons, and these moons do have an effect on you, as well as the sun having an effect on you when it transitions to a different sign, especially depending on the sign that you were born in, right? Because there are some signs you get along with, and there are other signs you don't, right?
Definitely.
That's just the 2 planets. There are other planets, obviously, like Saturn is the teacher of karma and everything. We talk about that another time, but I'm just saying, I'm a firm believer of it because it has such an effect on people.
Exactly. All right, well, we're going to dive into the tarot oracle reading that I did for November. What I saw was that the people who are questioning what's going on in the world as a collective may feel that there is no progress or nothing is moving forward. And this is because we are actually in a cycle of review, which is Mercury in retrograde. People may be obsessed with the election and perhaps may feel confused about who to choose. If you're undecided, you may need to do more research on the subject. It's important to pray and ask for guidance at this time and to listen to your own inner voice. Deep down, you know what to do. Allow any mental conflicts to find resolution. Think peace and freedom for the future of our world. As a collective, people as a whole, may be feeling restricted by the current circumstances, but know that this is all an illusion. If you're feeling stuck in unhappiness, free yourself. There is an underlying spiritual and benevolent agenda to free you from the confines of the current illusions of the world and events. Don't forget to tap into your inner magic. Some of you may be feeling disappointment and may be feeling forced to see things from a new perspective. Some of you may be experiencing solar plexus issues. But no, it's time to step into your power. Some of you may be taking on new projects, which I see success around, with possible promotions, awards, and recognition for your efforts. Allow yourself to receive help if it's being offered. On a world scale, we are going to see many, many changes. Old institutions will either have to step up and become more authentic or crumble. We're moving into a new energy where old corruptions won't be allowed to thrive anymore. The Great Spirit is pushing more creativity, more innovation, more success, and some of you may be feeling the pull to expand your careers. Balance is essential, and focusing on your spiritual union is the key. In the past, the wrong people received the recognition, award, honors, etc. for doing evil deeds toward humanity. This is about to change, and their time is up. Now the good people will actually start receiving what they deserve, because we are shifting into the timeline where this is meant to happen. Thankfully, as a collective, people are making this choice. We are choosing freedom, happiness, joy, and the end of tyranny and deception. This is the end of black magic era. It's important to stand your ground right now and release what's not working for you. There is no room for what's not in your highest and best, and for all concerned. There is also nothing to worry about, as we're all moving into a new era of balance between the masculine and the feminine. No matter what they say, doom and gloom is not on the horizon. If anything, the apocalypse stands for the lifting of the veil, which has shrouded our vision of reality. The blinders are coming off and people are seeing the truth, finally. It is our human destiny to raise in vibration. There is a strong divine force at will here. If you are not feeling strong yet in your spiritual power, it is because things may be feeling as if an emotional loss has happened. This is where emotional maturity is needed and total trust. Forgiveness of past deceptions and being willing to step into the truth of the matter will be needed at this time. Do not be deceived by mass media and mind control. This is a time to seek out alternative truth and media. Remember, large media conglomerates are owned by empires that are crumbling and will say anything to try to keep themselves in power. What needs to heal most at this time is the willingness to break free from the programs that keep you enslaved. See things from a new perspective, be willing to change your mind and life in accordance with the truth, and develop a firm foundation based on this truth. In the end, victory will be yours and ours. A new beginning will ensure, and success is for everyone. We will win this fight because we are the brave ones, and the ones who will live from love and never fear. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Okay, so we're going to shift gears a bit. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we will get back to this in a second. All right, guys, we're back. So I just learned some new information yesterday, Adam and I, regarding Thanksgiving. And basically what we learned is there are some mandatory guidelines from the California Department of Public Health website. You can go ahead and look that up. And whether you live in California or not is not the point here. The point is that these liberal people who are running our governments and what have you are trying to impose tyrannical, mandatory type situations
that are very far-fetched.
For example, Thanksgiving, these are the guidelines. Attendance gatherings that include more than 3 households are prohibited. This includes everyone present, including hosts and guests. The smaller number of people, the safer. Keep the households that you interact with stable over time. By spending time with the same people, risk of transmission is reduced. Participating in multiple gatherings with different households or groups is strongly discouraged. The host should collect names of all attendees and contact information in case contact tracing is needed later. Gather outdoors. Gatherings that occur outdoors are significantly safer than indoor gatherings. All gatherings must be held outside. Okay, so they're telling you must have your Thanksgiving outside. Okay. Attendees may go inside to use the restrooms as long as the restrooms are frequently sanitized. Gatherings may occur in outdoor spaces that are covered by umbrellas, canopies, awnings, roofs, and other shade structures, provided that at least 3 sides of the space or 75% are open to the outdoors. A gathering of no more than 3 households is permitted in a public park or other outdoor space, even if unrelated gatherings of other groups up to 3 households are also occurring in the same park or other outdoor space. Okay, I'm gonna just stop there. If you want to,
it is the most bizarre, dumbest thing I've ever read. And what's really the crazy part about it is basically, I ask you this question: are you willing to give up your rights for security? Because I'm not. And this is basically what it comes down to. And this, you find this right there on the website, the California Department of Public Health website. And we'll talk about this bizarre mandatory guidance, which I think you should highly protest because it is very grotesque.
yeah, and I mean the list goes on, and I'm not going to waste my breath.
In the end, they're talking about not even being allowed to have turkey. I mean, what the heck, dude? It's Thanksgiving and you can't have turkey. That's what they're saying, this mandatory guidance.
Yeah, I don't...
Bizarre.
I'm so disgusted by this that I'm not going to even read it. But if you want to go check it out, go for it. But I did get some information this morning. I felt like Spirit was coming down hard on me this morning at 4 in the morning. As you know, the veil is thinner. So this is just something to ponder on. And I wrote these notes. Okay, so basically, they want us to social distance because they want to break our spirit. The invisible virus isn't COVID-19. The invisible virus is the 3D matrix archon programming that pervades the human consciousness in the direction of killing the human spirit. There is a war on the human spirit. The result is COVID-19, which stands for Certificate of Vaccination Identification Artificial Intelligence. They want you dead or afraid of this matrix program called COVID-19. In order for you to receive the archon artificial intelligence vaccine, which will finally be the thing to relinquish your freedom and to be fully controlled by AI. If you take this vaccine, you will cease to have free will. You will be doomed to hell on earth, basically. Do not give away your power for a false sense of security, as Adam says. And you can refer to those California rules. Because these are the stages. They're also implementing similar things in Germany and France and probably many other places. So just know that if you are sick and tired, if you live in California or a place that is just becoming more and more restrictive, just know that Trump has nothing to do with this. This is all about the liberal. And this goes beyond politics, guys. This is whether we're moving into freedom or tyranny, okay? This is the battle of being controlled or having freedom and free will on the planet. So Trump represents that freedom. He wants you to be free. He wants you to live the American dream, whatever that means to you. He wants you to prosper, okay? And I know he talks about vaccines, but I'm going to tell you one thing, that I don't believe that he's trying to put out a harmful vaccine. If anything, it's the other side that does. The other side wants to promote artificial intelligence. Basically, what I've learned here is that Trump is he's at a direct battle with AI right now. AI is the big tech companies, the people who are behind the scenes trying to censor the truth. I mean, there's been probably over 20 YouTube channels that I've learned about recently that have been completely censored or taken off the platform because they have been informing people about the other side and the harm that they've been doing to this country. So just know that this battle is a battle over your spirit and your freedom. And that, God willing, Trump wins and he continues to keep America free because he is the leader. He's been wanting, this is in his destiny. This is in his cards. He's been here. He came here to lead us in this direction. So, let's, hold those thoughts and prayers in our heart that everything turns out great. It's only in, I think, a week, 5 days now, where we're going to find out exactly what's going to happen. But just, hold your freedom sacred and know that that's what the Creator wants for all of us. With that in mind, we're almost going to go now, but I want to remind you guys that we're on Instagram. We have our website. And please come join us on YouTube if you haven't already and subscribe to our channel. Also, like I said, we're going to have the Awakened Ones forum that I'm working on right now where you can connect with other like-minded people in your community perhaps because it's going to be a location-based type thing. And I think that's about it, guys. Well, if you don't have anything to say, Adam, I think we're going to head out.
Just once again, don't give up your freedom for security. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, stand up for what you know is right. Stand up for what you believe in. And don't be afraid. Don't back down. Don't let fear run your life.
Amen to that. All right. Well, we love you guys so much, and we hope that everything is okay in your life and everyone's happy and healthy in your families and friends. And we will see you next month. Take care, guys.
Take care, everyone. And remember, rainbowwarrior.me. You'll get all this information and more. And if any of you out there do want a reading or some kind of guidance, because we are both life coaches.
Yes.
We will be there. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone. And happy Halloween.